Greed is good. So said Michael Douglas in an iconic film role in the old classic Wall Street. There's a sense in which, if you think about it, a capitalistic economy runs on greed. That, in other words, if I buy a new chair, I've helped to provide a job for someone at a chair factory. That if I buy a car, I have helped an auto worker somewhere, somehow. That if I upgrade, for instance, a computer or a tablet, I've helped the economy in the chip industry somewhere, somehow. Now, of course, maybe I've helped the executives more than the workers, but you sort of get the idea. That makes me wonder about Jesus' statement, Luke chapter 12 and verse 15. Remember someone that came to Jesus and asked him to help divide the inheritance. Of all things he could have asked, why did he ask that? Why not ask how to pray more effectively? No, he asked, help me with the inheritance. Jesus wanted to know who made him an arbiter over him. In other words, Jesus was not going to play the Solomon role. And then he said this. Jesus says, beware and be on your guard against every form of greed. Why every form of greed? What's he mean? And what different forms of greed are there? Well, he's probably referring to the 10th of the 10 commandments, not to covet. And we always take covet as you'd want something bad enough to take steps to get it. But I don't know about that definition because after all, if you do some extra work to earn some extra money so you can pay an extra bill or buy something extra, is that coveting or is that just getting ahead? And there's another twist to it too. Remember in Philippians where the Apostle Paul says, I've learned to be content in all circumstances? That meant if he's in a jail cell, if he's in the Mamertine dungeon in Rome underground, if he's got vermin around him, if he has little waste facilities, he's content. In other words, he's content in whatever place and situation God places him. But what about this? Are there some things we shouldn't be content about? Shouldn't we be discontented about our friends not yet coming to Christ? Shouldn't we be discontented about the way sin operates in a society? Shouldn't we be discontented about the neglect of the honor of God? Is there a kind of a divine discontent? Well, Jesus is talking really specifically here to a person who is having trouble with a family inheritance. And there may be one big thing the person's forgetting. Jesus said, remember, if you seek first the kingdom of God, all these things will be added unto you. Doesn't mean you're going to become rich like Bill Gates overnight. But it does mean there are times and ways the Lord supplies, and times and ways when the Lord supplies in abundance. And it's not by the clawing and scratching. It's by the open hand of the one who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. But you still have to probe a little bit about what every form of greed is. And tomorrow, Lord willing, I want to look at the parable Jesus is going to tell and why someone who would seem to be the businessman of the year ends up apart from God. So tomorrow we'll consider what every form of greed might be. This is your daily devotional for Wednesday. I hope you're doing well. I hope you'll seek first the kingdom of God and hope you'll continue to seek the Lord in prayer and Bible study. And I'll look forward to seeing you at Bible study tonight. We'll hopefully have a great conversation on the issue of war, just war, and what's sometimes called holy war. Meantime, pray for me. I hope to see you soon. God bless you as you serve Him.